I see you again.
Alright, starting with this meme for a reason. Today we're going to look at the Hotfix 2, which has just been pushed out a couple of hours ago. And also we are talking about something that I was expecting to happen, and I think it's a good one, even though it's going to be a controversial one. And we're going to talk about the split between the console versions and the PC versions. But before we get into that, let's quickly move through the Hotfix itself from today and also the upcoming news they had in there. I didn't make a video about this yet because I wanted to pair that into this video. I was also going to wait for more, let's say, ideas and insights if I'm right with my estimation. Anyways, we do have a Hotfix 2, which again is already live at the moment of speaking. So a couple of changes to how people go and use the flumes. Most of them are very nice, and I just quickly tested them and they seem to work pretty nicely. So guests will be less likely to change their mind on the way to use flume. So I'm not sure if you had the same, but like my water park was constantly being very confusing to people who were going everywhere but then again nowhere. And also they use the flumes to get into the pools in general is a higher chance, which is good because some people were building certain elements that made use of it. Now also the chance of guests riding the same flume multiple times has been increased. Also a good one because that was something I didn't really enjoy, because you always had to constantly put in new flumes to make people still go and use your pools. And with all that, it makes sense that now the pools in general are less desirable, because now all the other changes should make up for that balance change. Really like this, and the queuing behavior couldn't really test that so far, but the guests will now tolerate longer queues, all good, as well as queuing times being reported by platforms on multiple sites will now display accurately. So that's good. All these changes are nice. However, let's get into the December update, because that's where things are getting a bit more spicy. Now you can see in the UI enhancements, and we've talked already about some of those in my latest update video about this, so I'm not going to go into them every single detail. You can read that yourself or check out the one on the website, because the point of the video is going to be talking about something else once we are through. Now, first of all, edge scrolling is going to be enabled again for PC. I had seen a couple of comments that were saying, oh my god, I hate edge scrolling, happy it's not there. Well, that's fair, but like having the option to enable or disable it is a must in my opinion. I personally love edge scrolling. I love to use it to make some, cinematic shots and so on, keeping the mouse relatively close to the edge and make a slight flyover, but also just playing with the mouse itself, just like. Then browser tabs will remain on screen while it's in tool menus, thank god, because it's still, it works for the most part, but it doesn't always. So a lot of these changes are really great. And also, you will see that there will be a lot of other things, like the return to browser option will work when inside the track editor. Nice. And also for PC players, angle snap and other things have off options with functionality for easy toggling, which is good because now finally it can go. And also, you can now have the own bespoke UI in the object browser. So I believe that was also meant for only a PC thing, to be honest, but hey. Then we also have added the rebindable controls for camera tilt and mouse controls, which is good, because then we can change this on the fly rather than that. I think one of the biggest changes everyone wanted, even though it's just a tiny change, is the removal of the logos from the path. Thank God they're doing this. I never really understood why you needed to slap the logo on. It's not like that you're marketing this when people play the game, because like it's the game you already purchased, right? I mean, I don't know. I love the fact that I have their own unique brands in-game, but again, give us the options, okay? Then we have some more heat maps for seeing the tolerance of fear and nausea and ride height, which is good. Then also scenery pieces to create custom supports for coasters, because as of now, we only have supports for water rides. Well, technically, I did this anyways, but like for the freaks out there, we need specific pieces for the coasters and not only for the water rides, which is a good one. And also selection of glass pieces, that I specifically want them. Then also adding the ability to change weather in Sandbox, and also increase the possible maximum guest cap in Sandbox mode for PC only. And then we also have the number of items displayed per page. We also have another thing down here for the guest and maintenance stuff. Janitors now empty bins in their stuff zones. Surely they didn't do that before, I guess. Then we have a very good condition for decay for Corsair writes. That's also very good that they rebalanced that because it was a bit of a funky thing. And also we have some Corsair bug fixes and stability stuff. Anyways, going further into the other stuff, you can see Flume's improvement on the physics behavior, which is an interesting phrasing because it implies that it already has a physics behavior, which is a good thing because then it isn't completely path-driven or pre-animated, just weirdly behaving, which is good. And also the second part over here is also pretty damn good, allowing multiple guests on Flumes at the same time, because I'm not sure if you do that with like checkpoints or something like that, but there is this normal traffic light you have in these water parks, you know, giving you an indication when it's safe for you to go down. So I believe like in the bigger raft rides, you can definitely do that. Once they clear the bigger element, you know, you could do that. And then also 2 additional special piece variants for the raft flume, which is cool that we get some new stuff, and also a lot of nicer things. Then we also have a streamlined multi-select shift control. Will now toggle between options rather than needing to hold shift key, which is good. Hopefully that will finally get the multi-select done, and this also includes the multi-select without previously selecting the multi-select option, which is always a weird one. And then also we have the removal of the download level limit on PC. So what you can see in the first bigger update we are expecting soon, we can already see a couple of PC-only changes. Now, again, as I said earlier, this may be a controversial one, but I fully stand behind that. I even think Frontier should have tackled the whole situation differently. Now, and I'm gonna say this right away, okay? And I know that a lot of people won't like this to be hearing, but consoles and PC are different platforms, and by that I mean they do not have the equal hardware on both ends, by the way. Meaning the high-end PCs are much stronger than the consoles, even the PS Pro, for example. Multiple tests now have shown that there are barely any big differences, only in ray tracing, which this game makes benefit of, but it just isn't that high performance thing. And if you go really into the hardware that is put into these consoles, it is just obvious why that is. And even worse, that goes for the, I want to say last gen, but the normal PS5 and the normal Xbox X series. So they are even weaker than the newer counterparts, and even I think the Xbox doesn't even have a Pro variant yet. Now, that said, Frontier had a very stable PC version of, for example, Planet Zoo. I'm just going to talk about Planet Zoo because Planet Zoo is the latest Cobra engine on the Planet game installment, and it was a very reliable system with a very great UI, very stable at the end of its lifespan right now. Planet Zoo is a brilliant game at the moment. If you haven't tested that and you're a Planet game fan, you should definitely do that. Check my instant gaming link and get yourself a copy, because it's a great game. And also, I gotta say, because I played both of it, the console version of Planet Zoo, I personally find also very, very good. Like, they specifically did 2 games for 2 platforms. It's the same game, but it has been done really intentionally for one platform. What happened with Planet Coaster 2 is it's a game made simultaneously for both platforms, but instead of using the strengths of both iterations they had, they baked it into together, and both ends got the worse. And this is something I really dislike. I feel like they should have done this really on the basis of both existing great installments, the latest installments of their Planet game franchise, which is Planet Zoo, and then have built this from there. This would have actually been beneficial for both platforms, because you had both platforms already pretty much great working, and the only thing you should have put into it is the kind of way how these platforms work multi-platform, which is a great thing, don't get me wrong. I love the fact it's launched on both kind of systems at the same time, or on console and on PC at the same time, and also that there is a cross-platform capability. It is mega, I love that, but it came at the cost of a lot of things. So all I'm saying is I'm very happy that it seems to part ways now. It's good that PC will receive some extra bits that console just can't have, and the reason why that is good is simply because it will not improve the console experience. I've heard a lot of negative feedback about the console performance already now, meaning the FPS and so on seem not to be that great as I heard. I can't say that for all console. I haven't played it on console yet. I was just checking out a lot of other people playing it on stream or receiving some feedback in my comments. That shows that the game isn't very well optimized for console, or maybe it is just so beefy that it needs all the power. But at the end of the day, the only way to fix that is by focusing on console only and on PC only. And I do really hope that they're doing this now. At the end of the day, it will be better for both, okay? So the console has a certain limit, and we just need to say and agree with it that there is this limit. And as sorry as I am for the console players that they won't have the ability to have 20,000 people in the park, hey, I mean 80% of PC players will never have that many people in the park anyways, because their PCs will not be able to handle that. So at the end of the day, we have to look at what's best for the entire player base, and that is definitely making the way that Frontier seems to be going right now, making sure PC is going to become the best PC game possible, while the console version is becoming the best possible console version for the given hardware. And eventually that means both versions have to part ways a little bit. As long as they stay the same in their core, obviously, to, you know, maintain the cross-platform ability, because I think above all that should be maintained, because that would be ridiculous to take that away. But, you know, it would be an easy fix. Like, if you have a park you want to share with someone on console and you have like 20,000 people in your park, make sure to only have 6,000 people in your park before you share it. Done, okay? So same goes obviously for piece limits. If their blueprint limit will potentially be increased in the future for PC, that then you have to split your blueprint into two, for example, for the console versions. Like, there are many ways of doing it. There are many ways of maintaining this cross-platform capabilities while making the game better on both ends. And I can't wait for Frontier to do that, because I really am a little bit disappointed that they didn't do that from the start. I really am disappointed that they are now reversing the UI to what has been established already. These are fixes that are completely unnecessary. These are fixes that should have never been fixes. I'm very forgiving when it comes to all the other things, you know, game-wise and all the new stuff and so on. All good, you know, but these things are ridiculous, because they are issues created from a working system. There was no need to change these things. There was no need to try to do something completely different for both ends. And as much as I'm like a PC player always rambling about this, I heard the same from console players. Even console players don't like the menus now. So it's not like that it's just PC players now shaping the game into their way. That's actually not true. I heard a lot of console players saying, hey, you know, I want to have my old UI back. So yeah, I don't want to make this too long, but the point I'm doing is, or I'm trying to get across is, it's a good sign that Frontier seems to now tackle the game differently and separate from each other, and they should do so. And I can't wait to future updates that make both platforms better while keeping them a little bit more separate from each other. That's that. Let me hear your opinion in the comments down below. What do you think? Is this a good approach? Should they have done this from the beginning? What's your opinion on that? And, well, yeah, let's keep talking. I talk to you in the next one, obviously. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so. And as always, have a good time. And thank you so much for watching. Up until the next one. Bye.